And good evening to all of you members. I'm so happy to meet you all after a gap of few days. I'm so happy to meet you again. All these people, those who seem to be regularly meeting, which means you are showing a lot of interest. And I feel really excited to talk to you on this. And today we shall be talking about the role of the ministers. Because usually we think when we talk about ministers, the state level and the national level with a lot of responsibilities, lots of work and that and this and all that. And when we have that idea in the background, how ministers at the neighborhood level can function? There may be a very big question about that. What are they going to do at the neighborhood level? It's all, after all, only 30 families. And how effective their ministership and all that. That doubt will be there. So to clarify that, this will help. And as I have already mentioned that all the members in the neighborhood community will be ministers. All of them will be ministers. Not even one member has to be left without ministership, which means everyone becomes responsible for something or other in the neighborhood, some work. So once people involved with the responsibility, answerability, and accountability, then they become serious. That is the reason we say everyone has to be a minister. Now today we are going to see three ministers. The first one is the Prime Minister. You may ask a question. How is that we are going to have a Prime Minister? There is a Prime Minister at the national level. How do we call a Prime Minister here? Definitely, there is no any legal obstacle for the neighborhood units, neighborhood communities to have their own ministers and especially Prime Minister. They may be Prime Minister or Chief Minister at the state level and the national level. But this person, the Prime Minister, is for the neighborhood. And all of us know, Prime means the primary, the first. Minister means servant. As already we have seen that the word minister comes from the Latin word ministrare, which means to serve, which means servant. So when we say Prime Minister, the primary servant, the first servant. So the servant can be at any level, not only at the national level, but it could be even at the neighborhood level. And what is the role of the Prime Minister in the neighborhood community? First, he has to lead the group. He has to lead the group successfully, responsibly, motivating each one, helping each one, supporting each one, and all that. That's the leadership is the one which is going to design the fate of the parliament. If the Prime Minister is bit lethargic or bit careless, the whole neighborhood community will become loose. It will become very loose, not serious. Each member has to be serious. So Prime Minister has to be first serious. And he has to ensure that every member and every member's family members have all the difficulties met, problems addressed, and ensure their well-being. Whatever may be. It may be safety, security, development, education, health, or other facilities, whatever it is, whichever they need, he has to ensure the members and members' families enjoy everything in full. After all, every person is a person with the freedom and has to enjoy the free air, free breathing, which means the life, with the honorable life, and he has to lead a very, a life with dignity, and a life where this person will have peace of mind, and a life where this person will have joy. This means every member in that. So he is the one who ensures through various means, various application of his mind and actions, he ensures that every member enjoys the fullness of life in every aspect, and well-being and development is ensured by him. And he is the one who somewhat takes charge during the meeting also. During the meeting, there will be a speaker. There will be a facilitator for the meeting. But after the facilitator, next to him, the Prime Minister will have a leading role so that the meeting is somewhat moderated to the benefit of everyone. If something happens somewhere, immediately he chips in his contribution so that things are settled. Because if there is any doubt in the meeting or any clarification, the first person to clarify that to the fullness, to the whole group, is the Prime Minister. So he has to be ready for it, which means he has to be very, very alert, and which has to be very informed. He has to be very well trained and all that. And in many cases, he also represents the parliament or the neighborhood community to the outside world. For example, he can be even elected as a representative to represent this parliament to a higher level. Not necessarily always. Somebody else also can be elected for that. But when these parliament members go and meet somebody, some officials, some elected leaders with certain requests, certain petitions, or leading the group outside the parliament area, he takes the lead. So he takes the members wherever, when they present themselves to the public or the government officials or the elected members or anywhere outside. And he is the first one to sign any legal document of the parliament or the neighborhood community. The legal document means it may be the resolution which is passed by the group, or any letter which is to be written by himself or by any other ministers to that particular department related officials, or whatever it is. Or it could be a recommendation from the parliament, or it could be a petition, or it could be a request, or whatever it is. Any written document which goes from here, neighborhood community to outside, he is the first one to sign. Along with that, that particular minister of which subject about which it is talked in the letter. For example, if it is a health issue which is talked in the letter, and that letter goes to the health department of the government or the official, the health minister will sign along with the Prime Minister. And if it is an issue of education, along with Prime Minister, all the letters will be signed by the Education Minister. Like that, depending on the department wise. But always every letter has to be signed by the Prime Minister. That is the authentication that with the consent of the whole group, this letter is written. And he has to affix the stamp. Every neighborhood community will have an official rubber stamp. That has to be affixed by the Prime Minister. So that is his role. And very important role, another very important role is, there is some system which is called time bank. I don't know any of you are aware about time bank. When I was young, very young, in my native place, though it was not named as time bank or systematically organized, people used to help each other, serving each other. For example, if there is a harvest season in somebody's this thing, and I am free, I don't have work, I go and help that person in the harvesting the crop there. And when I do the harvesting in my field, that person comes and helps me. So offering my service and get the service back when I need. And this is named as a time bank in European and American countries nowadays. So you spend some time for somebody else, and that person returns that time for you when you need. And here now in the modern time, it may not be in the field where you work, but I am a person who has some time. Every day I have 3 hours free time. Then what I do is I go to anyone who needs my service. It may be taking care of somebody or the child or the elderly person or whatever it is. Then whatever the time I spend, that is recorded in my time bank account, which means I am eligible to get that amount of time of service from somebody else, when I need. So that is called a time bank. And this time bank issue has been very, very successful, and people are very happy. It doesn't mean that people are always busy. Sometimes people are free and they don't know what to do. So immediately they offer their service 1 hour, 2 hours to somebody else. And there is a system. So you can ask them, you just phone them up, I am free for 2 hours. Does somebody need my service? Immediately they say, yes, so-and-so needs your service, you can go there. And they give the contact number and all. Then that person goes and serves. And that time is deposited in his bank account, time bank account. And when this person needs that time, that service is given to this person free. So now this prime minister in our neighborhood can organize this similar type of time bank so that people help each other, support each other, serve each other. And it is a wonderful practice. There may be some families which need our help immediately for 2 hours, 3 hours for some work or other. And I am just sitting idle. So I just, I offer the service to them. Then when I need that service from somebody else, from the neighborhood, somebody else comes and helps me. And especially in case of, taking care of the children or taking care of the elderly people or teaching, training, or whatever it is. You can do anything, whatever it is. Or some cultural activities which can be organized and anything. So this prime minister ensures that every neighborhood community have a time bank account and everyone serves each other. And it is a wonderful practice actually. And second, we go to the second topic now, the parliamentary affair minister. And as the topic itself explains very well, what is parliamentary affair minister? So this neighborhood community is called the parliament. So anything, whatever happens in the parliament has to be recorded and kept the records in safe custody by the parliamentary affair minister. Officially, he is the one who convenes the meeting actually, in consultation with the prime minister, sending the invitation for the meeting officially. This is the work of this parliamentary affair. Similar to the secretary in any organization. The president is considered to be the prime minister and the secretary is considered to be the parliamentary affair minister. And all the records and all the property of the neighborhood community will be kept and maintained by him. And he is the one who keeps the minutes book, resolution notebook, files, incoming files and outgoing files and all that. Then any records or any this rubber stamp, letterpad and all these things, everything is maintained by him. And he also, not only he convenes the meeting, not only he sends the letter for the meeting, even finds out if somebody is not attending a particular meeting, And before the next meeting, he goes and meets the person. What is the problem with him? Why? What is the difficulty? Why he did not come? And all that. And gets his approval, consent for the discussion, whatever was happening here. That is his work. That's very important aspect, because due to some urgent work, some people may not be attending the meeting, attending the discussion, but the discussion may be of a serious matter, serious issue. So his consent also has to be got. And since he did not come to the meeting, outside the meeting, he goes after the meeting and meets the person, explains whatever has happened in the meeting, and gets his consent and record it. And he is the one who writes the minutes of the meeting. Every meeting has its own minutes to be recorded. Because neighborhood community, though it may sound it is a very free community, just people come and talk and all that, but every discussion, every word spoken, every decision taken there, every resolution passed or any action plan done, everything has to be in records. Documental evidence has to be kept. Because when they are going to deal with outside world, that is with the government officials or the government or government departments or commissions or whatever it is, or with the elected members, only the written document talks. So minutes have to be compulsorily kept, so that anyone can refer the minutes of the meeting. On so-and-so date, the meeting was conducted, and these were the issues talked, and these were the decision made, and all that. So it is evidence. And nobody can manipulate that written record. If it is of the oral discussion, they will say, no, I did not say that way, this way, they can, take back the words or that and this. But once it is recorded, that's all. It's an evidence. I mean, it is not to prove that somebody is wrong or right, but it is to keep the documents of the parliament so that it is open to anyone, and anyone at any point of time can come and read and that and this and all. And not only he writes the record minutes, and he has to read the minutes and get it passed in the next meeting. It's very important. And only when the minutes is passed, the minutes has validity. Writing the minutes and keeping it in the notebook alone is not going to be enough. It has to be read in the next meeting, and all with everyone's consent, it has to be passed, so that the speaker, the facilitator of the meeting, and the prime minister and the parliamentary affairs minister sign the minutes, so that it is approved that it is passed. So that is very important. Then besides that, he also takes a special care, like a mother, to understand everyone's problem individually or even collectively, so that he can support each other. It is, it is like a support work of the prime minister. He is duty bound to do that. But this person approaches members with more motherly care, with more compassion, try to understand. And if there is any little difficulties here and there, to match all that, and that's very important. And resolution notebooks. He only records the resolution, pass it around for signing, and keeps it recorded, and keeps a copy when a particular minister writes a letter to a particular department. This resolution and the minutes records, their copies have to be given to that person, that minister, so that along with this letter, these records, Xerox copy of the resolution passed and Xerox copy of the minutes of that particular meeting, all attached, so that it has got some validity. When this letter reaches the government officials, they will say, oh, I see, on so-and-so meeting, a discussion was conducted, and that meeting, a resolution was passed, everyone has signed, and the letter. So when some minister takes the issue of the neighborhood community to the government official, They cannot just ask, who are you, why, and all that. When this record speaks. So this all is done by the Parliamentary Affairs Minister. And he keeps all the records and all the properties which belongs to the Parliament, takes care of it, keeps it, maintains it, and all that. Then we have the third one. The third minister is the Finance Minister. One of the most important portfolio in the neighborhood community. And this minister will deal with the SDG goal number 1. Very important minister. No poverty. The whole world is talking about poverty because poverty exists everywhere. Even in the developing countries. We say in Europe and America, there is plenty of money. Yes, plenty of money is there. But still there are people with not enough income. The poverty level may be on a higher level there. Here, if a person in India earns, say, about few thousand rupees a month, he may not be poor. But there, it may be more. 3 times, 4 times, 5 times he may be earning from the person who earns here. But at the same time, he is maybe poor according to that level, in their own level. So that's why United Nations also talks about poverty. And in the developing countries, it is a very big issue. The first and foremost duty of the finance minister is to ensure that there is no any poor people without enough income in the neighborhood. That is his primary role. What he has to do is, he is not going to collect money and give that poor people. No, that is not the work. He is going to identify who is poor. The parliament will fix certain parameters to decide who is poor or who is not poor. According to that parliament fixed parameters, he takes the survey in the neighborhood and takes the list and gives to the parliament. Okay, these are the people, according to the parameter which is fixed by our parliament, these people are considered poor. There may be 3 families or 4 families or 5 families out of these 30 families. And the whole group puts their head together, gives their ideas, how we can make these poor people, these 4 or 5 families, poor families, come out of poverty. They may be having some little income here and there, but that is not adequately enough to run the family without problems. So how to have that additional income for these people? So all these people together decide to prepare some programs so that these people can be brought out of poverty. And in neighborhood network and neighborhood communities, there are lots of experiments we have done. And all of us, all of you may already must have heard about Kudumbashree in Kerala. Actually, the groups first were started there in Kerala as a means for poverty eradication only. So, neighborhood people can come together and increase the income of the people those are considered poor. I want to share 1 or 2 beautiful examples. We have some neighborhood communities here in Chennai, about 30 of them, 32 of them. And they are directly under my guidance and supervision. And there is somebody else also regularly going and talking and training and all that. It's going on. So they are from the lower strata of the society. Most of them are slum dwellers with, doing some menial works here and there as domestic workers, that and this and all that. And they earn some money. So even in the normal time, some people really have financial difficulties. And during this pandemic, some of the families really suffered a lot. So I gave some ideas. All the parliaments, whichever, I mean, they are in the same building. Each building is a neighborhood. So they started meeting and trying to design their own program to get these poor families out of the blue. One is, I'll tell you one or two things for an idea. In one neighborhood, they were just thinking how to do, what to do and all. Then all of a sudden, somebody said, see, everyone is buying flowers every day to make puja or various other purpose. And ladies here in Tamil Nadu use it, to decorate their hair, with flowers and all, garlands and all that. And this flowers is bought from somebody else. So they decided this family will start selling flowers from today onwards. And all the 30 families have to buy flowers only from them. They decided, passed a resolution, and they had their own little fund, so there was not a problem. So they gave some loan to this family, and this family was taught where to get that wholesale flower, flower from the wholesale market and all. And that person, that lady, went and bought and sold it. And she was getting almost about 100 rupees, 150 rupees every day. And it is an additional income, and it was a big income during this pandemic. Very simple act, very simple act. All the 30 families said, we will not buy flowers for anywhere from outside, only from this person. That's all. And getting 100 or 150 rupees every day means 4,000, 5,000 rupees. It's an additional income for the family, so they could manage better. And everyone was surprised. A little small thing, how it can help. And in another neighborhood, they decided, we will buy fish, chicken, and egg only from this family. And this family has to supply. And they have to go little away for a shop, which is there, which regular shop, which sells mutton, chicken and all. But they made this particular family, a small place was allotted to them in the same building there below. And we said all the 30 families will buy chicken, egg, mutton or fish only from this family. And that person was getting almost 200 to 300 rupees profit every day. It's about 10,000 rupees. So like that, this neighborhood community can do wonders. Small little things. It's not a very big investment and helping that and this. And for them, the parliament, if it has enough fund to support them as a loan, they do it, or they with the support of all the 30 families, go to the bank, give the guarantee. When all the 30 families give the guarantee, the bank will definitely give the loan of 5,000, 10,000. And it's a very menial amount. And get the loan. And the finance minister ensures that this person pays back the loan properly. And all that. And this simple, small act in the neighborhood can eradicate poverty. And I used to say, poverty is the biggest menace in the world, biggest issue in the world. That's why United Nations is also talking about it. And so many countries have been fighting against this poverty through so much of programs, so much money is spent for that, but poverty is not eradicated. And our Indian context, the poverty is increasing more and more and more. But this is a proof that if the neighborhood community comes together and decides to eradicate poverty in the neighborhood, within 3 months, poverty can be eradicated 100%. We have a proof. I'm not talking just from the air. We have a proof. If anyone wants to come and see, you can come and see. You know how much India is spending, the Indian government, to eradicate poverty? Where does the money go? We know, Rajiv Gandhi had mentioned, if 100 rupees is allotted for the beneficiary, when it reaches the beneficiary, only 1 rupee comes. What happens to the 99 rupees? It vanishes down the line. So, poverty cannot be eradicated. The system is not built strong enough or systematically enough that poverty can be eradicated. Doling out things is not going to happen. Free gift is not going to happen permanently. It's not going to solve the problem permanently. But creating a regular income constantly, continuously is going to eradicate poverty. And this is what the neighborhood community does. One family will supply vegetables, fruits. One family will supply all the groceries. All the 30 families decide, we will not buy vegetables and fruits from anywhere else, only from this person. We will not buy grocery from anywhere from the shops from nearby. We will buy only from this person. And there are so many things. And one parliament decided, in one of the parliaments, in 32 parliaments, they decided, we will not stitch our cloth from any tailor outside. We will organize a tailor within that community who is poor. That lady was trained as a tailor, and they started, stitching the new clothes or maintaining the clothes or repairing the clothes, all done by that person. If the community, neighborhood community decides and passes a resolution to that effect, we are 100% sure, 100% that poverty can be eradicated. And this is one of the best means. I can proclaim it from the rooftop because I have seen it myself. And this is work of the finance minister. Then he has to encourage the minister and members to have a small saving. Because small saving is a very positive habit. When people have enough money, they don't think that it has to be saved. Because now the advertisement is so much, the corporates, keep on snatching the money from people by some means or other. They will say, you have a TV? Does it have a net facility? Does it have this, that? Then immediately people say, oh, the TV, it's not a digital TV, we will have to buy a digital TV. They may be having a small bike. They will see advertisement. So you have a bike with a tire which has got a tubeless tire, or that facility, this facility. Every 3 months you have a different model. Even cell phones, different models. So there is lots and lots of advertisements bombarding the brain of the people. So we become weak. We become weak. And we succumb to this pressure, indirect pressure. and little money, whatever we have, we spend for it. Because we don't realize what is our want and what is our need. Need is different from want. And finance minister organizes a training for the neighborhood community to distinguish what is a need and what is a want. Now, even in the need, different level. The primary need, without which we cannot live. Then secondary need, we can negotiate with these needs. Then the third type of need, we can forego these needs for the time being. Wants, always want is a want. You can 100% eliminate this want from ourselves, so that people distinguish what is the need and want. And the finance minister organizes a Pakka training on this. Then people save that little extra money what they have, because we don't know what will happen in the future. The whole world is not going to run the same way as it is running today. 1.5 years back, nobody knew that we will have a pandemic like that. We were not aware at all that we will be locked inside the house without going outside. It's all of a sudden. Now people have experienced. You have to save money for some emergency, even for health. We don't know. I am all right. I'm perfectly all right, but I don't know when something will happen. I was perfectly all right. I was walking on the road. All of a sudden, somebody came by. Somebody was, driving, practicing, taking a driving training. Straight came and dashed on me in 2000, 21 years back. And my knee broke. I was hospitalized for 4 months. Now, from then onwards, my knee is giving trouble. Now, I don't know what will happen. I'm not much worried about it, but anything may happen at any point of time. So, emergency is an emergency, and it can happen at any point of time. At least for that sake, we need to have this small saving. And not only small saving, insurance. Finance minister ensures that every member has insurance in the neighborhood. Though it is connected with the health related issues, but finance minister, along with the health minister's help, ensures that every member goes for health insurance. Health insurance is not common in India, but in Europe, you cannot have a person without the insurance. Here we have a person, we cannot, every person has a name. There cannot be a person without a name. Like that, in Europe, there cannot be a person at all without any insurance. And this helps people in time of need. So finance minister takes care of the small saving as well as insurance related issues for everything and for everyone. And nowadays, government gives the insurance, health insurance. Central government gives some schemes, state governments gives some schemes. This finance minister educates the people on that and helps the people to get registered for these government schemes of the health insurances, so that people's well-being is ensured at any point of time. So these are the things by the finance minister. Now, he also promotes, he creates his own fundraising programs. The parliament itself can have its own fund. It has to have, not only it can have, it has to have. Because any systematic organization, if it has to run successfully, it has to have its own fund. And the fund can be collected through any various legal means. One is fundraising programs can be conducted, membership fees can be collected, or any other donations can be collected, but they have to have their own fund. I remember one children parliament, I'm talking about 15 years back. Yes, I'm talking about 2005, 2006. One children parliament had 76,000 rupees as their own fund. One single children parliament had 76,000 as their fund. And I was asking them, how you collected? The finance minister has a lot of influence in the community. So he goes around, convinces people to contribute for the welfare of the children's parliament fund. And we also conduct regular once in 3 months fundraising program through some quiz program, that program, or this celebration, that celebration, some raffles, that and this. He was so innovative. I think perhaps his parents may be helping him and all that. He, within establishing the parliament in 1 year, 1.5 years time, they had 76,000 rupees. Then I asked the finance minister, I mean the prime minister, what will you do with this money? He, very casually said, sir, there is plenty of work to be done with this money. One is to help the poor children in the parliament, to buy their books. At that time, there was no free books and all given. Nowadays, it is given, but that time, they have to pay some nominal fee for the book and back and all that. So, we pay that money. Then they employ the unemployed graduate youth in the village to teach these children. So they pay the honorarium to that person. It may be 500 rupees or 600 rupees a month, but little honorarium by this. Then they have competitions, various skills development programs like drawing, dancing, singing, that and this, sports and all. So we give prizes to the winners and all that. So this all is done by our fund. And as we spend the fund, we again have our own fundraising programs, then we get more money. So that's how. So if a children parliament in the neighborhood level can have 76,000, 80,000 rupees as their own fund, definitely the neighborhood community of the adults can have few lakhs rupees. And this will come in handy to help to loan out to one of the members. Somebody may be needing 5,000 rupees immediately. Otherwise, this person will go to the money lender. They have to pay very high interest, 5%, 10% interest from the private money lender. But whereas this person, this group, this neighborhood community can give loan for a minimum percentage for the members, for 1% or 2%, whatever it is. And that way the group also benefits as well as the members also benefit. It is like the activity which happens in the self-help groups. So this all is done by the finance minister, and giving loan, collecting loan and all can be done. And even they can create a bank. Whatever money saved by people can be, accounted in each people's this thing, and they can have, besides that fundraising fund, a common fund, even a type of small banking, micro banking. Whatever money saved by somebody can be taken care commonly by the finance minister with 1 or 2 assistants to record the money and all that. And many people do that, especially in Kudumbashree, they have their own this system. A common fund is different from bank. And this fund also will be utilized by the bank. The group's fund, common fund, will be invested in the bank, and the bank will give interest to this parliament. And this bank can give money, give loan to anyone else in the village who needs it. It's a banking account, banking activities. A small with 30 families. It may not be a very big, very conventional banking system. A small micro, very micro level, and micro level finance, can really upset the whole economy of the country. We used to say that Kudumbashree in Kerala, the Kudumbashree members have such a big amount of money, not even a single corporate company has that amount of money in Kerala. The biggest amount in Kerala is handled by these neighborhood communities. With 30 families, with small amount, imagine if the whole state is organized that, then what is amount, total amount handled by these neighborhood communities? How much money they can save, and how much money can be spent for their own development, in their own community, in their own neighborhood, for various purposes, health purposes, educational purposes, infrastructure purposes, so many purposes. So all these activities managed by the finance minister. And finally, not only keeps the records of the finance and all that, during every meeting, he has to read the finance report. Last week, how much was balance in the hand or in the bank? And this week, how much was collected? And how much was spent? And now today, what is amount in balance? In the bank or in the hand? And this finance report has to be read in every meeting by the finance minister, and get that finance record report passed. Once everyone, if somebody has some questions on the financial issues, he has to clarify, then the report is passed, and the facilitator signs, and the prime minister signs, and the finance minister signs, which means this authentic report is passed by everyone's consent. Of course, even in the future, if there is some clarification required, financial clarification, he has to give. So he has to maintain all the bills, vouchers, everything in record. Account note, everything has to be maintained by him. It is not some money is collected. No, everything is recorded. Everything is maintained. And besides that, he gets their account audited. Audited means not the Pakka auditor for whom they pay the fees and all that, but some person who knows accounting, he audits and approves it. It can be from outside. It can be from within the community or from outside. Somebody who has done commerce, or somebody who is an expert in auditing. And if it is a very big amount, then the official professional auditor has to audit and give the statement. Otherwise, a person who knows accounting well can audit and give a report and approve it. And that approval letter, approval account has to be read once in a year in the neighborhood community. So it is systematically organized so that there is no any hodgepodge in this. There is no any room for misuse of the fund, abuse of the fund, or any unwanted happenings regarding fund. Because the most important transparency has to be in the finance department, because that's where a lot of problem can be created. and many of the groups break because of the financial accountability of the group, lack of proper financial accountability of the group. So it's a very important portfolio. And so these are the three ministers we are dealing with today. And if you have any doubts or if you need any clarifications, please, I'm happy to clarify the doubts for you.